people showing signs of torture continue to turn up in rivers, forests, quarries, mortuaries. The authorities have yet to investigate or prosecute anyone for these crimes. Kenya has a history of police brutality and lack of accountability for serious abuse.
So
that's Human Rights Watch.
You want to believe what Human Rights Watch said, not what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to believe a human rights group over a politician who started by saying, I won't give you straight answers.
It is their take, Mehdi. It is their take. And I didn't come here to give their take. I came here to give my take and the perspective.
So they're wrong, you think? The police officers are being held to account?
They are wrong because the police officers must be held to account.
But they haven't been.
And that is why we have institutions that will hold them to account.
So what you said today about the deaths sounded good. You said it's regrettable, there should be no loss of life. That's what you say here. What you say in Kenya is a little bit different. This is what you said in December about the abductions of young people. You said that they're a way for people to basically con the system. You said these people, quote, they're not really abducted, you said, quote, they're locking themselves in Airbnbs with their girlfriends and hiding. Are you saying that all these abductions, Kenyan parents crying over missing children, bodies turning up in rivers, that's people pretending, hiding with their girlfriends in an Airbnb? Do you understand how offensive that sounds?
Mehdi, I was speaking in Bungoma County. And the context was the clamor for, there was the misconception that every other abduction in the country was being perpetuated by security agencies. Unfortunate that lives had to be lost, but it was not that fire was opened on young.
Yeah, the way you talk, lives had to be lost. No, lives were taken, right? People were shot in the head. The authorities have yet to investigate or prosecute anyone for these crimes. Kenya has a history of police brutality and lack of accountability for serious abuse.
So
that's Human Rights Watch.
You want to believe what Human Rights Watch said, not what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell you emphatically, the minister has reasons to lie.
Okay.
Emphatically. Because Kenyans are like that. Kenyans are very participatory and active. And therefore,
so your country just looks corrupt because Kenyans are very vocal. Is that what you're saying? So can you clarify then, what is your net worth?
Well, not 5 billion, definitely.
For 1 billion?
Probably about close to 1 billion. I have never paid for a bribe.
In your entire life, you've never paid a bribe?
In my entire life, I have never paid for a bribe.
Sorry,
a
little bit. Some of the Kenyans here are not believing you, but okay. So you made up a story about his son being abducted.
There are reasons. Wow,
Kenyan politics.
Will you allow me? Will you allow me
Please.
to make my points?
Please. This is just. I'm stunned.
Have
you called up members of your coalition to stop doing this?
Exactly.
You have.
We members of parliament in my party in the house who I see flaunting things that are not palatable with Kenyans. I tell them, hey, bro, this is not good.
Kenyans have been most upset about the cost of living, and yet when thousands of young Kenyans took to the streets in protest of your government last year, the finance bill, your government opened fire on them, killed them, forcibly abducted and disappeared them. How do you justify such a violent crackdown on your own citizens in a democracy?
First, let me say this, Mehdi. Unfortunately, all demonstrations end up with deaths, which is a very unfortunate incident. And it is not true that people demonstrate and you open fire. It is just the nature of what happens with our demonstrations, that they turn violent and the police have to intervene. And let me say that at this point, it's not just unfortunate. We all regret the loss of life during the 2022 demonstrations and even the demonstrations of June last year. Unfortunate that lives had to be lost, but it was not that fire was opened on young.
Yeah, the way you talk, lives had to be lost. No, lives were taken, right? People were shot in the head.
I'll tell you from the last year's demonstrations, 3 are already in court.
3 police officers have been prosecuted?
3 are being prosecuted.
Are being prosecuted, but none have been prosecuted.
Another 34 cases. Before you prosecute somebody, you have got to investigate. So you have to.
This is what Human Rights Watch said last year. Bodies of people showing signs of torture continue to turn up in rivers, forests, quarries, mortuaries. The authorities have yet to investigate or prosecute anyone for these crimes. Kenya has a history of police brutality and lack of accountability for serious abuse.
So
that's Human Rights Watch.
You want to believe what Human Rights Watch said, not what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to believe a human rights group over a politician who started by saying, I won't give you straight answers.
It is their take, Mehdi. It is their take. And I didn't come here to give their take. I came here to give my take and the perspective.
So they're wrong, you think? The police officers are being held to account?
They are wrong because the police officers must be held to account.
But they haven't been.
And that is why we have institutions that will hold them to account.
I want to bring in, you are a community leader, Kenyan community leader in the diaspora. What do you make of this study that was done by a non-partisan group which shows 14 promises out of 281 in the manifesto have been fulfilled? Do you think that's what's driving a lot of Kenyan frustration?
These are the messes that the current government inherited. And through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which the president always talks about, and he prioritized 5 areas, is to create jobs for these people, to create things to do.
You keep saying inherited. Isn't President Ruto, wasn't he a long-standing senior member of the previous government?
Well,
how do you inherit something you were in?
Mehdi.
Listen, Mehdi.
What am I missing? Because
somebody is stealing Kenyan kids. This case has been ongoing since 2024. Somebody is stealing Kenyan kids. I know you guys remember this kid. You remember this post. This post has been going around for weeks now. And last week, I think it was last week, another post was going around saying that the kid has been found. I remember I reshared it also that the kid has been found. And it was so surprising of me to reshare that he has been found, and I didn't know. But what I'm trying to say is that the people who are stealing kids in this country, they're using the same social media that we are using to diminish our awareness. They're diminishing the awareness that we are trying to create to help these kids. They're diminishing the awareness that we are trying to create to ensure that these kids are found. Okay? And it's very likely that this is a huge ring, and it might be a profitable business for them to use the same social media to try to convince us that mtoto amepatikana. Yet, the kid has not been found until today. Today, Mother's Day, I'm seeing a post from this child's parent. I think this is the parent of this child. This post is saying that this child has not been found until today. What is actually happening in this country? Somebody is stealing kids, and we need to raise awareness. We need to pressure the government to ensure that our kids are safe. Somebody is stealing Kenyan kids. It has been happening for quite a long time now. But right now it's getting it was serious, of course. And it's getting even more serious because they're using the same social media we are using to try to tell us that our watoto wamepatikana. Somebody is stealing Kenyan kids, and you should not keep quiet about it.